Okay, for point two of the role of operations manager, we need to be able to look at how the job of an operations manager changes between the two industries. So with primary and secondary industries, those industries that make goods, so much like Apple, it's all about decreasing faults, increasing efficiency, and by doing that you are you're actually reducing waste and increasing product quality and production speed. So we'll look at the use of KPIs later when we start doing operations strategies to look at how we can do that. We also need to look at the services side. So with the tertiary, quaternary or quinary industries, we also have to look at how we can increase customer service. So you can see that Qantas is an excellent example of that, to see what they've done with the next generation check-in. And Apple, obviously over here, would be a good example to think about how they would approach what the job of an operations manager would be at Apple. And you can certainly see what's happened at Samsung when you think about the issues they've had over the past year with their batteries. So once we get through that, we need to think now about the interdependence with the three other business functions. And interdependence really just basically means that one part of the business is connected in some way to another part of the business. And in business studies, it's a series of these connections. It's not a one-way thing. So operations might do something for marketing, and marketing will do something for operations. So they're interdependent. If we want to think about operations and finance, operations through their cost leadership could cut production costs. This frees up funds for finance, which ultimately means that finance can provide funds for more production. Thinking about marketing, operations will often set limits on what they can do. So if marketing comes up with a fancy new idea, which might include technology which isn't around yet, operations will say to them, no, hang on, we don't want to do misleading deceptive advertising. This is all we can do for this. So they will set some limits. And alternatively, marketing will set goals for operations, saying, hey, this is what we're proposing. Can you put something together and make it to their specifications, because this is what we're advertising and this is what we found that the customers want. And finally, human resources. The operations department will not create problems. So, for example, the way that operations happens, avoiding things like overtime, avoiding disputes over roles and duties and responsibilities. And consequently, HR will also hire the right people, and more importantly, probably train people for that particular task. So if we want to put this all together and think about Qantas's transformation program, think about, first of all, marketing. Would have done some market research and stated that, look, what people really want from an airline is they want to get rid of these queues. They want to get it quickly. So they would have gone to operations and said, this is what customers want. They want to get rid of the queues. Okay, operations would say, okay, well, we have a possible solution to that, and it's called next generation check-in. Obviously, to do that, they're going to need funds from the finance department, and luckily, with the transformation program that's been going on, that's led to freeing up of a lot of cash. So the finance department is able to provide funds. Okay, operations, by being more efficient in what they're doing through the next generation check-in, we can sort of drill it down to that one particular activity, will actually be their cost cutting will be providing funds or extra funds for the finance department. Now, thinking about something like next generation check-in, HR department will need to be providing training. Okay, the operations department will be specifying these are the skills that we need, and the HR department will also be providing new employees through their hiring processes. So there's a series of interdependence between operations, marketing, HR, and the finance department. And using the next generation check-in is one example of how we can show those interdependencies at play. Okay, thank you.